Hi team, thank you for joining today's sessions. So in today's session, we will be basically learning about Terraform. Okay, so Terraform basically we'll be working. We'll be learning about on Azure actually because we are learning Azure DevOps. So we will learn how we can use the resources in our Azure platform using Terraform. Okay, so we'll just show you the agenda what we are going to cover. So this is total nearly 16 modules we have. So right now this module I have not added in the documents so because I wanted to get more resource on that. And rest you can see rest of this thing, but this is also very useful and this I will cover end of the sessions later point of time. For now, we basically till 15 module you can go through all documents are available. Okay. So as you can see for the first module, you can just a basic flow. We will understand how the Terraform flow works, then Terraform language basic, then third module we have our Terraform providers, then Terraform resources, input variables, output variables, then local variables, that, data source. Then we have a state, local, and a remote, Terraform workspace, provisioners, null resources, Terraform modules, and then Terraform cloud and CLI, then BCS, that is your version control system. Okay. So all this we will be learning. Even we will learn slowly. This also end of the sessions. That is dynamic blocks. So these the content basically what I did was I chose based on the or this thing. If you know this kind of this concept basically, at least somehow if you know the basic level also, you can manage any of the work based on the this thing. Okay, so you should be able to handle the things. So I mentioned only here this is the resource that we are going to use in our entire labs. But apart from this, we will also try to use some other also, depends on the this thing. But for now, we will just understand the first thing: what is resource group, what is virtual network, then what is network interface, what is virtual machines, then I public IP storage account. So not just this one. Once we learn thoroughly the basically the Terraform part, we will learn other thing as well, like a load balancer, your SQL or any kind of this thing infrastructure. Okay, we will learn that as well. But for now, you can just think of this only these resources. First thing, this is the first thing when I say the Terraform. First, we need to understand what exactly right. Terraform basic, as we all know, like what is infrastructure? Terraform is infrastructure as a code, right? So what exactly it means, right? So thing is that yeah. So we need to understand first what is infrastructure as a code means in simple term. Things take time. That's right. Okay, no, don't worry. We will directly go with this only because I think it's better. First thing we need to understand the basic before like a Terraform, like before Terraform, right? So, but if you think about the traditional, how we actually manage or how we work before Terraform, right? Or any kind of infrastructure as a code, before infrastructure as a code. Suppose you have an admin one here, or you're let's say you are a DevOps person, or maybe cloud engineer, or whoever it is. Okay, let's say you are the person who is here. Now, you have to deploy your infrastructure in dev environment now. So first thing you need to define your infrastructure here, right? As a person, as a DevOps person, or maybe not DevOps because this is normal on the traditional way. As an admin, you have to define your infrastructure like you need to plan well what need to do, what kind of changes I need to, what kind of infrastructure I need to build. So all planning you have to make. So let's say here 5 days you're taking here. Same another if you want to move to this QA that is quality this thing. Okay. So it will take another 5 days. And again it will take for the documentation also because whatever you're doing here, you should be you have to make some documents as well, right? So that also you need to keep in mind. And then if you want to move to the staging also, again this person is taking 5 days. So on. And if you had to configure your disaster to recover everything 5 days. So it nearly, if you see, as we all know, we are directly cannot deploy our infrastructure directly to our production. So we have certain like what you call phases where we actually maintain, right? First it could be a development, then QA, then staging, then production, then etc. Right? And after moving this also, you have to think of this also, disaster recovery also, how you have to plan that. So it is taking nearly, if you see here, just for this is as an example we have given, it takes nearly 25 days. Okay. So yeah. So now let's say, now this is also another way of managing your infrastructure. Under example, now you see here, this person is working here. There no CI. Let's say you don't have any CI, and if you make a documents also everything, some steps you might have missed. Let's say, in the documents you might have missed some steps which is to be mentioned, but you forgot to mention in your documents, documentations. I mean, okay. So it also delay things like that. Then what happens if you go in the staging? Definitely you don't have any proper documents. What happens? You'll have a issue, lot of issue there, because you don't know what kind of changes we have done, what kind of implementation, or maybe the process we have followed, right? Or maybe the steps been followed. We will not have any knowledge unless you don't have any documents. You have documents, right? This is why it is very important for us to make a documentations, so that whatever we are working, we need to be track that one as per this thing. This is why it is important. And same thing, if you go here, then this person will have an issue now. And then same thing, if you go to this thing, like what you say that another production phases also can be a challenges, because it can come because you don't have any kind of documentation. You don't know what kind of changes you need to do in what level. So there are chances to have a outages as well. Okay. And also for disaster recovery also, you may have no notching, right? Because you need to plan very well first thing. So there are many problems in if you do manual tasks basically. So in simple terms, what I'm trying to say is that if you think about a traditional, it's basically the time taking, as well as there is no any proper standardized where we can follow or we can work on. Let's say if you have any issue, some of the phases, let's say you don't have any kind of capability where you can go and check where the issue is, right? But if you talk about the Azure DevOps using your this thing, you will have complete your documentation where it is mentioned clearly. Okay, this is to be done in this way. This has to be done in that way. Like that, you should be having certain steps or certain documents as per the company's this thing, right? Standard. So this is why it is very important. So to have a documentation also is essential. Okay. Then we another example. Okay, this is for the on-demand scale. Our scale down is not an option. Let's say in traditional we will not have this option. Let's say in the daytime, let's say daytime I'll take, or nighttime I'll two example. Daytime you had running one, two, three, four servers. Daytime, as you know, the number of requests are more, right? And in this case, what happened? The more the request is more, you have to scale up, right? You have to scale a number of VMs basically, or infrastructure into increase the number of your server. Let's say you have four servers here, you have to scale up that one based on your request, or based on your demand, traffic demand, or maybe request, right? But same thing, I want to in the night. At night will be definitely the request will be slow. So at that time you can save the cost by scaling down, because you don't, because there is no traffic, no point of having four servers running at the same this time, because you don't have much traffic here. These two-person also, sorry, these two server itself can handle. Then why to waste your here, right? Another using another two servers. That is why we can have this one in our DevOps. But when I say traditional, you don't have that option. Okay, that is not an option. Yet otherwise, what you can do is you have one more option is that you have to do manually. But this doesn't make sense, because you are as an IT person, you should be smart that you have to work in such a way that something which you can do automatically instead of having to do manually, right? Then yeah, see this also, yeah. So if you see here, so but if you talk about the using this, that is your infrastructure as a code with Terraform, right? If you have Terraform now, let's say you want to, this is a one time work. If let's say one this admin guy, he took 5 days to build the infrastructure based on the project needs, right? Now this person has built everything in place. Now what this person will do, then QA stage phase basically, what he'll do, they will check in the code. Basically the code will be available once it is ready in your local, one of the developer will be working here, right? Basically here admin will be working here. This, then they can push to any of the centralized repository. So in my case it is a GitHub. So they can check in the Terraform code in your GitHub. Then based on that, you can have a run trigger also. That is your Terraform cloud if you have that this thing in Terraform. Then creates infrastructure. So if you want to create an infrastructure now, see now code is already ready here. But same thing if you want to deploy to any of the server, because like I mentioned, code is already defined in your first by this personal admin one. So the same code can be reused, right? So you don't have to rebuild once again the entire code. You have to only use the code what has been used in your first phase, that is your development, right? So because the code is available somewhere in your remote repository, that is your GitHub. Okay. So when you create the infrastructure here, you can only have what you can do is you can reuse the template. You can reuse the template by what? Only you have to change the variable. Let's say this is for queue main, definitely will have a different requirement, and for staging will be some variable will be changed, right? So you just need to change the variable, so you can save a lot of your time. You can use the same template, just that you need to change your variable basically based on needs. Here in my case it is a qa, that only the qa variable you need to define in your Terraform configurations. Same also even here also if staging also it will be, we can have this similar staging, it will be quick and fast definitely, because we use same thing, it will be quick and fast. And then we move to production, it will be reliable because we have tested everything, code is working fine, everything. So you can think okay my code is working fine, and because we have done testing everything here also everywhere, and you move to the staging also, that also looks good, then you can without worrying you can move to your production, it will be reliable. Then same thing it is for the disaster recovery. If you want to think about disaster recovery, that also you can configure. That is for your, like you can track for your audit purpose, like you can what is a disaster, what is a downtime, everything you can trace that one. So if you see here, it after 25 days, but it takes only 25 days reduced to 5 days. Provisioning environment will be minutes or seconds. So it depends on the infrastructure. It will take some time, depends on the infrastructure. Once your code is everything ready, mean you just need to change your variable for each phases and then deploy your infrastructure in simple terms. So you don't have to once again like the previous, you don't have to go and create do once again and again. Doesn't okay. So it will help you save our time. This is one of the reason why we think of using our Terraform. Okay. So okay. Then we have our manage using ASEC, that is Terraform, yeah? Infrastructure as a code. This is some of the basic the advantage or maybe the benefits that we can think of. The visibility, right? ISEC serve as a very clear reference of what resources are created and what settings are okay, and we don't have to navigate to the web console and check this thing, because visibility in this is nothing but whatever infrastructure you create in your Terraform, same infrastructure can be managed, basically can be seen in your Terraform itself using your there is a state file called this thing. You will have complete visibility there itself, you can check, or there are other commands as well where you can check in your Terraform itself. And also you have a stability, obviously you have a stability also. So if you accidentally change the wrong settings or delete the wrong resource in a web console, something you did, or break things, what it does, the infrastructure as a core can solve this one, especially when it combined with the version control, such as Git, because it's something you do in your like Azure side, Azure portal, and some then you wanted to reward back that one. Because your code is somewhere in centralized location as a Git or somewhere, then you can reward based on your version, which version you want. Okay. Then scalability. Scalability, as we all know, with the infrastructure as a code, we can write it once and reuse it many times, right? Which was we were discussing just now. Okay, this means that one well-written template can be used as basic for multiple services in multiple regions around the world, making it much easier to horizontally scale. You can based on this thing, you can scale that also possible. Then security. Okay, security also we have this thing. Then we have auditing also. Okay, so let's see exactly this thing. So what we will do team first, like now we understood why we use Terraform. So but we wanted to understand the basically installation how we can do. Okay, installation Terraform is very straightforward team. First thing what I'll have to do is that I can just go download the Terraform. Okay, you have to visit this particular website. Okay, or you can directly go to your this thing. In my case, I will just copy paste it. Let me be taking me. Okay, okay. As soon as I click this particular link here, basically it took me here. Now this is again based on your what do you call that? Your OS. In my case, it's a Windows based. If it is a Linux, you can choose Linux. If it's some other Mac, also you can choose that. So in my case, it is a Linux based. So what I'll do is this is a Windows, right? Sorry, I'm using Windows, so this is the one, and you can see here. AMD 64. You have to use not this one. You use this one Windows Casement. You just download. Once it is downloaded, just double click here or single click whatever. Once you click here, it will get downloaded. Once it is being ready in downloaded folder, what you can do is you can unzip this file basically. Just unzip that one. Once unzip, then archive this one. After downloading, extract the content of the zip archive to the directory. Okay. So this is actually just the optional team here. If I show the directory, I can use this also. Or if you don't want to use C drive, you can keep somewhere basically. It's nothing but, let me show you one second better. What I mean to say is that download, I will, yeah, I'll download this one. Okay. Yeah. Once I download this one, see, I have downloaded. Just unzip this one first, extract that one. Once I extract, you will get this one .exe format. If you click here, okay, let me refresh. Then this one, when you're done with this one, this is done. This is also done. What do you do here? You keep some location, make one folder somewhere in your any of the drive. In my case, I can keep e drive also. I can keep. Yeah, I can keep in e drive example. Otherwise, I'll just show you. I have already done here. I made a one folder here. Okay, I copied the extractor this thing setup file. I made here folder. There is a folder known as this terraform.exe. Okay, so just copy pasted this one after extracting. Okay, once you have copy pasted this one, take this part basically. Once you take this part, what you'll do here, once you take this part, okay, extract the file, this is done. What you have to do, add the terraform to your system part. That is a variable in system variable you have to part. Okay, so in my, you have to go, you can follow this one if you want, but in my case what I'll do, I know what is the way to go, so I'll just mention environment variable. Okay, there is a accounts of panels is there. No, you have to select this one. Okay, add your environment variables for your account. If I go here, I normally don't see here. Sometime I also was searching that yesterday not finding, but there's one more. What do you do? Sorry. Mm, okay, it's not taking. Do one thing directly. Sometime I don't know why it's not getting. You can directly go here also. Otherwise, in what you do, just type. You can go directly my computer also, because sometime it is not taking me there, it's taking me some other place. So if I go my properties, this Windows scenes, system, the advanced settings, huh? Advanced settings you go advanced setting. Okay, after going to your system, I mean your properties of your computer, you go here. There is an option. Here, environment variables. Click there. You see now boot or enable here. But if I click here, sometime I don't know. It is only for me. I don't know. But if I click here, it is not basically maybe this thing. See here, I am not getting the option to enable this. It is untick. Okay, means this is a disable state. So that is why what I did was I came here directly properties of your computer. Here I click the advanced settings, then I have to click here now. Okay, so once I click here now, as you can see here, I'm getting the option to edit or remove whatever is there. Okay, in my case I need to select the location as part. You can see PATH. Okay, same thing I also mentioned here. uh, yeah, system, click in the advanced settings. Okay, then environment variables, system, what then you can follow edit. You have to select the part here. Okay, find the part variables and select it and click edit. Okay, so in my case I have copied the part of your this thing also. So I'll go here, this is a part, double click here or edit whichever comfortable here. So here you come down, I have copy this thing. What you just click new the copy paste it like I have already done it. Okay, this is the same part which was kept in your thing here. Here, this one. Okay, this folder can be located anywhere. You can keep in C drive or D drive or E drive. It depends on your choice. Okay, that you can keep anywhere. So once I copy this same part, copy pasted, I have pasted here already. Where is that? Yes, here. So I don't have to do that one. Once I completed this one, okay, then you can check. What you do is you can just go here. Okay, otherwise you can go through the notes as well. Then once you're done is the verification installations. Open, you can check this one. You have to, if it is installed, you can verify using Terraform double dash B version. Okay, you just mention here. Open your CMD Terraform double dash version. This is very simple. Then you can see this is installed the latest version, which was the this one. This is what we were is installing, right? If you check here, you can check here AMD 64. Okay, AMD 64. Okay, version 1661. Okay, this one. So depends on again teams. If you are using others, in your case, you can use Linux also, or Mac means you can see same thing. It is a Mac. Okay, you can use it based on your this thing. So it is very straightforward. Let's not spend much time here. We'll just focus on major things. Once you're done with the what you call installation, okay, then we have actually in installation, this is the, some of the things we need to install. First things your Azure, sorry, Terraform CLI also is required. You need to install Terraform CLI, Azure CLI, and BS Code and plugin and Git. These basically thing to be in place whenever you want to work with your and Terraform. The reason why you want the Terraform and CLI is because it will interact basically. If you want to interact with your Terraform, this thing, you need to install as Terraform CLI also. Then Azure CLI is for your basically to deploy any infrastructure using API, right? So in this case, you record the Azure CLI as well because you are sitting here Terraform and you want to deploy your infrastructure in your any remote server, right? Or sorry, remote cloud provider. So that is why you record the Azure CLI. Then BS Code. I know you may, I think you already have installed the BS Code, so you can ignore this one. If not, you can also install that one. And also we have Terraform plugins for BS Code. So we can't write everything manually, right? So we use the Terraform in my case like this. I have the code which is written here. In my case, I don't know how will I write so many big code, right? So this is why what I'm using is I'm using extension for your Terraform. So you don't have to remember the entire the core how it has been defined. You just need to understand how the structure basically happen. Basically Terraform how it is how it works, right? So just need to understand that one. So you don't have to scared by seeing this big. It's not a big course, small only, but then you don't have to think much about now. We will go that as we learn. Okay. Then also Git client. So I hope many of you have already installed Git client. If not, directly go and install Git client. You have already installed. If you work with a Git, definitely you have it already. You can use that one. And if you have this one, you can. This is not a big thing. You directly come here. Otherwise, I'll go with the first one. It's simple. So Terraform CLI. That if you just go here, okay, you can just mention Terraform CLI download. That already we have done the first step, right? same thing. We have already done this one. So we are good with the first step. Now, second is Azure CLI. So what we'll do, just you can go and type in your Google download for Windows. Okay, install update. You can see here, depends on your the basic what you call that version of your computer. It is 64 or 32. You can choose based on that. In my case, 64 bit. Just double click and install it. Okay, and there is no settings. You just need to double click, install it, next, next, next. That's it. There is no any configuration required there. Okay, very straightforward. Then BS code. BS code also, especially those who are not installed. I'm just showing them. So just this thing. Just mention BS code download. Okay. If you type here BS code, just click any of the one. You anyway it will take you anyway wherever it is. Okay. There is an option. You can search BS code. Sorry. Download BS code. Okay. That is your Visual Studio Code. Just download this one. I mean, once you click this thing, it will take you here. You select based on your this thing. In my case, it's Windows. Just double click. Again, there also you don't have to think any configuration. Just next, next. Double click, install it. Just click on next, next, and just complete your installation. Once you're done with that one, the BS code, you will get. You can just come here and search your BS code like that. Okay, you can see the BS code automatically as you type. Once your installation is completed, you will get this option. Just double click here, or single click also good. You can do that. Okay, once you click, this will not open like this. There will be a blank. Okay, so now you can create a folder wherever your code is there, or you can create a you can select the file also from your like this. In my case, let's say I'm just what I'll do. I'll close it better everything so that just to how we can use it. What I'll do. Let's say I have a code I have located already in Terraform folder. Okay, sorry, not here. Here. What I'll do, I'll copy this one because my all my code is here. In your case, if you don't have a code, what do? You can create one folder wherever you want to store your code. Many ways we can do. This is one of the way that I wanted to show. Okay, so I wanted to be kept my all Terraform configuration in my E drive. So I made a one folder name as whatever you name here. In my case, it is a same name. This one, Hasicom. Okay, so you make a folder, then copy this part. Sorry, go inside of the folder basically or directory. You call it. Go here. Go then open your BS code. It will be like this. You come here and there is an option, right? Open folder. If you want to open file also possible. So in my case folder because I want to have multiple this thing. Click and copy paste the part which you copied. Once you copy, you get this kind of this thing. You don't have to go inside. I want I want to keep this as a root directory for my all entire core. That is why. Okay. I just select this one. I'll just close this one. Okay. Once I close this thing, can cancel also this. Okay. Yeah. Once I close this one, why so many tabs are open? Okay, anyway. So Tim, this basically this code also I will give you later. Okay, don't worry. I will give you this code also. I'm just modifying some based on the syllabus. Okay. So what we do once you're done now, you come here. This is your code. Okay, all Terraform codes are available now. Okay, before that, I wanted to show you once you're done with this installation of your BS code, this is done. Now I want to install the Terraform plugin for BS code. The reason why I want the Terraform BS extension is that you come here, there is an option for extension. Uh, where is the extension? I think this one is it? Yeah, this one. Sorry, I have to click here. Okay, there is a button extension. You can just keep your cursor over there, and then you get to see her. Just mention Terraform. You get everything just extension as you type Terraform, just enter. You get to see there are other as well. So see something which is provided because Terraform is the provider is Hashicorp, right? So that is why you can select this one. This my case I have already installed it. just install it. This in my case, I don't have option to install it because it is already installed. So once you install it, you can close this thing and directly you can go to your code. In your case, I'll close my case. What I'll do, okay, okay. Now this is good. Now we are now this you can just play with this sometimes. I have tried to install so many things, including this thing also, ChatGPT also, but I don't think so. This is helping me. I'm not able to do anything here. This doesn't any make any this thing use. But yeah, Docker I can use, Kubernetes I can use. Anyway, you don't have to think much. We will learn all this in step by step. But what I'm thinking is, team, one news is that what we will do whenever we write, once we understand this flow, basically, once we understand the syntax, everything, we will also use sometime chat GPT, how we can actually write smart, basically, code using chat GPT. That will help us learn faster, and also it will help us encourage also while learning. Okay, so we will do that as well, but before that we need to understand first. If you don't understand the concept itself, you can't ask ChatGPT also, and if they give the code also, you'll not be able to what do you say, understand. You can modify it. Let's say somebody is given you the big script, you will not be able to modify the code because you don't have any knowledge in the understanding of your Terraform things. This is why first we will go with the understanding. Once we are good with that one, then we will use ChatGPT also, like I mentioned in my this thing. We will use some AI tools also, so that in your future also you can confidently tell that yes, it is possible. That is possible. You can say that. Okay, that wherever you're working. So that also one good point. Okay. Once we are using this one, I mean extensions you use, then we can. There is an option git that you have it already. If you don't have, again this is not a thing, but yeah, we can just say git install. Okay, register git installation. I think I'm in some other pages. I need to go here. Here, download button. Okay, just same. Go and install it. Nothing. Just you're good now. So now let's start with the actual work team. Let's not spend much time here because this is not the major things. Then this OS also that we can be already we have done. Then first thing we will have to understand about our basic commands in our Terraform, right? So before that, we will also understand about Terraform workflow. As we all know, Terraform workflow, there are actually the major five you get: one, two, three, four, five. Okay, this is not the thing, but this is initially we use this five. But as you can see here, the first one is for your init, that is initializations, and second is the validate, third is your plan, and the fourth is your apply, and then destroy. We will explain is in everything in hands-on so that you can easily understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, you don't have to think much now. Yeah, first one is the initialize, or just mention in the first phase. I can just mention when I want to initialize my Terraform. First, I can use this command Terraform init. Okay, and as a second, if I want to validate, I can type Terraform, always will be there, and validate instead of this thing. Okay, init is instead of init, it will be validate. Same thing, it is for plan, it will be Terraform plan. It's very simple command, you can easily remember. And then apply. Just remember this flow. But let me tell you one thing, team here. If I run this one, if I skip this also, no issue. I can do that also. Okay, it is not mean that I have to always use after init. I should use the validate, then plan, then apply, then destroy. No, there's no any sequence. But this is the essential. This is required. At the first phase, you need to do this one. You need to initialize is the first priority that you need to do. After this one, you can directly go and use this command also directly. But it is good for us to understand this also, why we are record this one, and plan also, why we have to use a plan, why not directly apply, right? Then after deploying your infrastructure, we can also delete, that is your destroy. Therefrom destroy, that means you are destroying your infrastructure that is deployed in your cloud, that is your Azure. Okay, so we will see this hands-on as well. uh, okay, so when I say, okay, first we will see maybe I can, yeah, I will go with it first. I will show you this hands-on team so that it will be easy for you now. In it, like I mentioned, first understand the this definition. Why we use init? Okay, init used to initialize a working directory containing Terraform config files. Okay, that means it will initialize your directory, working directory. Working directory means where your code is stored, basically. Sorry, your Terraform code is stored. Okay, and this is the first command. Okay, it's just this is important. This is the first command that should be run after writing a new Terraform configuration. And also, and second point also, you have to, it downloads what it downloads the providers. Not just what is provider also we will see. Then what we will do, we will see this, we will see everything hands-on, but we will, let me explain in overview so that I can show you that in real. Okay, so second option is that when I mentioned Terraform validate, in the, that is a validate option, I mean phases, you can say validate the Terraform configuration files that is that in their respective directory to ensure they are synthetically valid and internally consistent. Meaning, if whatever code you have in your this thing directory in your Terraform configuration, right? This will what else it within the directory it will ensure what they will show they are synthetically valid, whether it is valid or not. If there is any issue, they will get error, and also internally consistent. Okay, then plan creates an execution plan. Okay, then Terraform performs a refresh and determines what action are necessary to achieve the desired state specified in configuration files, right? So we will plan basically will help you to analyze it, what is written in your code basically in Terraform and what is expected there to run, I mean to deploy your infrastructure. Let's say when you want to deploy any infrastructure, I need to first check the code in your Terraform configuration, right? Once what is been mentioned that or declared, based on that, you will be uh, identify. You will be like able to see that okay, these changes will be happening if you run this command. That is your Terraform apply. Okay. Here basically in simple term is just a like blueprint where it will help you to what is your visualize what resource going to create in real time. Okay, then we have our sorry, yeah, apply. That is your Terraform apply, used to apply the changes required to reach the desired state. Okay, desired state of the configuration. By default apply scan that is current directory for the configuration and apply the changes appropriately. Okay, so basically whatever you see your blueprint mean what kind of resource going to be created based on that, whatever you same configuration will be used in your same directory, right? So they will deploy based on that one, and in the sense they will deploy in your remote, that is your Azure. Okay, then once you deploy also, that is your Terraform destroy. You can destroy this one. In the sense you want to delete that one. I don't want anymore for some reason or for testing or for any use cases. You can use the Terraform destroy command. Then this is why we use to destroy the Terraform manage infrastructure. This will ask for confirmation before destroying. Whenever you use the Terraform destroy, we have to mention whether yes or no. If yes, mean you are confirming that the Terraform what you run before basically using Terraform apply, same thing will be destroyed once again back basically. Or you can if you don't want this confirmation, also you can use the auto approve. Okay, that also having option. If you don't want to get a auto approve, I mean the manual asking like whether you want to continue or not. In this case we can also use the commands with the auto approve. Okay, we will see that anyway. So okay, let me show you now in hands on. Sorry, I'm not. Uh, Let me see. I don't want this one. Where is coming? Team, if you have any question, please don't hesitate. Please feel free to ask. Okay, the first one, what we will do, we will learn this one. This is my code. Now, Terraform. No, this is the Terraform. Okay, I need to go inside. What I'll do is let me first show you in actual this thing. Even you can see from here also, but then I wanted to show you in real. Yeah. This is the one we are doing right for the first time. In the first time, uh, first I will remove this one. Then I'll remove this also. I don't want this one. I don't want this also. I don't want this also. Terraform the resource. Okay. I only have one resource group team. Okay. If I see here, one second, just swing back. Okay. If you see under 03 sessions, that is Terraform common basic. Okay. There you can see manifest. Under manifest, I only have the resource group dot tf. Same thing if you see here under basic, you have a only here one option that you can see here. This is your configuration basically thing. Okay. For now, you ignore what is written here. You please ignore now. We will learn is in everything also. Okay. But for now, just I'm just showing you the flow of the Terraform first. Then you will get what is written and how it is been written. Okay. First, what I'll do, like I mentioned, I don't have anything here right now in my this is three. Only I have one that is my Azure resource group dot tf. Same thing I'm showing you once again. That is first. Let me close this. Can close this also. Okay, right now I only have this one under this one. Now if I type sorry Terraform init, that is initializing. I'm not going to correct directory maybe. Okay, let me check. I need to go manifest folder, right? I should be going. What is the folder name? I'm still not in the this thing that is showing empty. I'll close this also. Let me check. I'm into okay. I have to go not here. I need to go another folder that is your Terraform manifest. Okay, that is why it's not coming here. So what I'll do, I'll go Terraform manifest. Right? Is it capital? It is capital. Okay. Sorry, is it capital? Small letter. Okay. Let me go inside of my core Terraform manifest. Once I go here, now if I pay ls also, I can see here. I only have it my that is this one Azure Resource Group.tf that you can see here also. Okay. So I have I need to redirect basically to your specific code where your Terraform configuration is located. So in my case, my Terraform configuration, that is my Azure Resource Group, is located in this particular location. This is why I redirected to here. So I'm good here. Now I re-verify also once again using this ls command. Okay. So now let me see now. As you can see right now, only you have this one. Now let me type Terraform init. Okay. Now, as you can see here, when I say first, let me explain the first flow first. Whenever I use the Terraform init, like I mentioned here, used to initialize the working directory containing the Terraform config files. This is the first command that should be run after writing that we are good. Download also what it downloads the provider. At the same time, download also will be downloaded, but it also need to understand another things like as I enter the Terraform, I mean run the Terraform init, what basic the first thing it does is it will initialize the backend. Now question is what is backend here? Backend is nothing but the Terraform basically whatever you have this kind of your it's like a storage, right? You want to store your Terraform configuration some places. It could be your remote repository or can be your in the local system, right? It depends on that. Basically, in simple term, when I say backend, is a storage location where I would define where my code or my Terraform code will be stored, like your is log or terraform.tf or whatever is there, like a state file, everything. State file will not be created now. Let me show you that. Now what will create? Let me see. Okay. Okay. As soon as I click the first command that is Terraform init, I get to see two things here. Provider, that is a provider. It was mentioned here also, right? Yeah, provider, right? So if you go dot t Terraform, I mean dot Terraform, if you go inside, See, there is a provider, right? Go inside provider, you can see this is the particular this thing that is for this thing, right? Terraform, that is for registry file. Under registry, you get a that is your HashiCorp. Under HashiCorp, we have a Azure RM. Then version. Then which one we have this thing. So this is how it works. So okay, let me go back. Okay. Okay. Because why I explain this one is it is very important to understand for us. Otherwise, it will be a difficult when we work actually this situation. Okay. So it is good to understand in the basic first. Sorry, I need to go back inside. Okay. First, now we understood this one. This means provider is installed. At the same time, also we need to understand this particular also. This is your .terraform .log .hcl. Okay. This basically what it does. Let me open this one. This thing. For basically this is your dependency log. Now, what is dependency log? You don't have to think much. Just think that dependency log is something. It's like your provider information. In the sense, what provider informations? Like in my case, it's a Terraform. As I'm using Azure RM, no, that is a provider. So that information will be stored basically here. And why it is required? Why it is important, right? So if you see here, this is a provider. You see here, a required provider. Version is the provider under is the this thing, right? This is a provider Azure RM, right? This was missing Azure RM. This we will learn anyway. Don't worry much now. This is a provider means provider is something which provider is whether you're using Azure or GCP or Google Cloud or Alibaba or whatever it is. So they have all their own different providers. So in my case, it's Azure. That is why Azure RM is nothing but is Azure Resource Manager. When I say Azure RM, that is Azure Resource Manager. But this name can be changed anytime if you want to. When we use to define any kind of infrastructure resources, we can use same this one Azure RM. Okay, but then it can be changed based on your need. But normally, 99% of the company they don't do that. They don't change it. Only if you wanted to see that one, yes, you can do modification check. But normally, the HashiCorp they don't recommend to use or modify anything. They want to use as default. That is the Azure RM provider. That is for Azure. If it is AWS, it will be AWS itself. Okay. So we are good now. We understood the first thing. I'll close this also. Then I can close this also. I think I don't want this also for now. Okay. Uh, okay. Now we are good here. Now let's understand some more things here. Okay. First thing we understood now. Second thing, what we have to understand. Okay. Here. Huh. Once we the initialize the backend, basically whatever I have to store my information. Let's say about my log files, Terraform folder, as well as your other Terraform dependency log everything. Basically, you will this will store in your in my case it will store in my local system. That is why I can see here right now. Okay, this is why I can see here. This is stored in my local system, but same thing you can be stored in your remote as well. Okay, so for now basically when I say this one in simple terms, this when we use if you want to do some troubleshoot or if you want to have some auditing, all the number what you should is usually hash table. Okay, it will be hash table. So if you have any issue with your this thing, you can auditing purpose will help you. Okay, which provider we have used and what everything can check. So this is a hash table. So for now you can see the first thing is your if you see the provider, it is a Azure. This is the first thing. Okay, this is still here is the first thing that is a registry.terraform.io. Then this is a HashiCorp and this is your provider. That's your total provider link. Okay, and this is a version till now latest, and we are using this one. Okay, so you don't have to think much now, but just this much is okay for you. Now let's understand something else also. We are okay. We will again. I'm open. Sorry, when I'm opening this one. Okay, team. So fine. So we are good here now. Then once it is initialized the backend, then it will initialize it, and you can see here finding that they will find a version. Whatever version is there, we use this one. How we got this one? If you see here, right? Terraform. Where is that? Somewhere we mentioned. Okay. We use the two dot, yeah, finding the matching version. Okay. Finding version, we also define here. If you see here, this one we have used it. Okay. So two version, and this is the latest one. This is the latest one. It is signed by Hasikoff. Okay. So you just understand for now. Just backend will be installed initializing. That means your configuration, whatever you have in Terraform, the store basically is just like a storage where you keep your Terraform configurations, where it has to initialize. Okay. So second thing is that Terraform has created, you can see this is second thing. Terraform has created this particular log to record the provider session. Okay, this mat above include this. You can go through later. Okay, you can check. Now that means it will record your provider. That's why you are saying whatever changes you working anything, they can for troubleshooting anything. You can use this one. You can check this command. Okay, and also then once you're done, then you can see now Terraform has been successfully done. Initialize. That is why once we can see now, that is why we can see now the provider also we can see here. So okay, this is enough for now. So we will learn with the second, that is your validate. Validate mentally nothing much it will do. It just go with this one. Validates basically the Terraform configuration of files in the respective directory to ensure they are synthetically valid and internally inconsistent. Like in your code, if you have any issue after initializations, you will have a problem. Let me check in my case. I just mentioned Terraform validate, validate. Okay, just enter. It will come. Okay, it says success. It says the configuration is valid. That means you check your configuration. What is been written in your configuration file in your Terraform, right? It is validated. That means you have the correct basic configuration in your Terraform, right? So we are good here now. It just validates basically your whether is there an issue. If there is any issue, then you will have an issue. Okay. So this is done. Example, let me do some changes here. What I'll do is I will do something, just try to see. Now let me save this one. Sorry, let me save. I just wanted to show you. Let me validate once again. See, okay. Now because your code here shall not correct because they'll try to this thing. Invalid require see here. Where it is issue also they will get some hint what to be where I need to check it. Okay, you can see here. Let me introduce little bit this thing. Okay. See here, Tim. As soon as I click here, because I did something wrong here in my code. As soon as I click here, because I put a hash, instead of this thing, I use the hash that means commands. Okay. So this could not be considered. That is why it try to validate, but then what it says unsupported argument. What you given the argument basically here is not supported. What is argument that we will learn later. For now, you can see where it is issue. You can check there also. Okay. That on Terraform they put it TF9 line 3. Line 3 means somewhere here, right? Because we didn't mention this thing. So somewhere in valid we require provider block line 4. Okay, so that's how we can check it. So in my case, what if I remove 1 second back this one, the see it is the if you see the color also got changed now. That means you don't have any error now. So you can save it 1 second. Once you save, sorry, I need to save it. Okay, once I save it, let me run 1 second. Now it is succeed. Sorry, it is succeeded. It is valid because now my code has I don't see any issue. That is why it is validated. It is scientifically consistent as well as it is valid. Okay, so we are good with the second distinction. Let's understand the third one. Third one, what it says, create an execution plan for Terraform to perform a refresh and determine what actions are necessary to achieve the desired state specified in a configuration file. So whatever I define in my code, in my case, what Azure this resource going to do is that in my case, the resource will be, if you see first one, this is a block. You don't have to think this part team. Okay, for now, I will explain later. But just think we are just going to create one resource group. This is why if you see the resource, and then we have a resource group, whatever name is a resource group. Then this is local name again. Sorry, reference name, and this is a locations. So basically in simple term, what I'll do, I will change this as a uh, I mention some name I'll mention. In my case, I can try and share DevOps. Okay, RG1. So you don't why it is coming this kind all you will learn everything why this is why that is. I will show you that also. First, understand the flow now first. Okay, let me save this one. Once I save this one, let me plan plan what it basically does. It will just give you one hint or basically the blueprint where you can check what kind of resource will be created if you run this thing right in your desired state. So in the configuration, whatever you define, you will get kind of things. Now, as I mentioned here, now you can see here as a type here, Terraform plan. If you can see here, Terraform used to select, sorry, use the selected provider, whatever selected provider and what we have initialized initially to generate the following education plan. Okay, so because first time we initialize the provider, for the first time what we got is your provider, right? So same providers they used it in our here also. Basically for the first time, whatever provider version is given here, same version will be reused basically. Okay, they will not use some other also. And also they also have your log also, that is your with the dependency log. They will track about this particular providers this thing also, what version they have used it. Okay, so in simple terms, when I say in your Terraform plan is nothing but it just gives you like kind of one overview what resource will, is going to create in your environment. Okay, that is your Azure environment. Okay. Okay. So we are good here now. So if you see now, first thing it is validated also. Sorry, here. Okay. Now create. What task going to do? This task basically going to do a create. It's going to create new resources, right? If it is a minus mean instead of green, it will be red or this kind of orange, and it will be a minus mean it will be a destroy. But in our case, it is a plus. That means it is a create. That means it is going to create new resources or issues. Okay. Then Terraform, you can check this also message. Terraform will perform the following action. What they are going to also, they will show you, they'll give you full thing, what is going to be created in your Azure. In my case, Azure resource my RG, whatever name you given, demo my RG. If you see here, demo my RG, take your reference name. Okay, this is the, if you see here, resource Azure RM is there. You can see resource group, then your the reference name is your dot my demo RG. Okay, then it will be created. But if you ship minus plus again, same thing. What this is again reference name, and you can get a resource ID also, resource group ID. I mean, then location also, whatever location you got, this what you have given here is US that is taken, and this is a name. Name me as your DevOps RG01, right? This name. So if I you don't confuse the name, why this why these are different. For now, just understand that this is a resource group. Actual resource group is this one. This is just a reference name. So you don't have to define this name everywhere. You just once you refer with this name, you just change your it will reflect everywhere. So for now, just ignore that and all. You don't have to think much. As we learn, we will understand that as well. For now, it is just going to create this issues group. Okay, that is my DevOps RG1. Let me create. What is the command to this thing, right? Uh, Run, apply, right? Apply means this is just going to basically provision your infrastructure. Terraform, apply. I can have many things. Also, I will show you two also, two cases. Yeah, apply basically it says now what it does basically used to apply the changes required to reach the desired state of the Terraform configuration by default. Apply scan a current working directory, that is our the core what we have for the configuration, and apply changes appropriately based on whatever you have in your this thing is going to create the infrastructure. So in our case now, the infrastructure is also going to create, but it is asking me now same thing what you see before also same name is there, but now asking down you can see here this name also you can see that is the apply option. What is going to create, right? Plan, in plan we have one to add, that means one will be added. Zero to change, nothing will be changed, that means. And zero to destroy, that means nothing going to delete or destroy.
So it is asking me, do you want to perform these actions? Whether you want to perform it. Terraform will perform this action desired above, whatever you mentioned above. If you mention as only yes, we will accept the above, approve to approve. So if you mention yes, then it will the it will clear basically. So in my case, if you don't want, you can just mention no. Okay, this is one of the command I can use. That is one this thing. But in our case, if I don't want to have this kind of again second time with a yes or no, I can have this also option. So that is why I'll cancel this one now. I will show you that also. Okay, so I have cancel now. So what I'll do, same thing command I'll use, but instead of that double dash I'll use auto approve. Auto approve. Okay, if you to auto approve, you will not ask anything whether you want to continue or not. It will just directly deploy your infrastructure. You just mention Terraform apply, then auto approve. Okay, that's the double dash auto approve. You see now, this will not ask me anything now. It will directly create that infrastructure now. See, it is not going to ask me anything. By default, it will take care. See, I didn't do anything. It is going to see. You see the one, the a particular resources creating. Okay, and then what it says now, creation complete after a blah blah something id. Okay, that is your uh, part basic resource id basically. How you can check that one also, you can see this also in your this thing. Okay, um okay, this is also thing. But before that, I forgot to tell one more thing team. You have to sign in with your subscription, right? The authentication that I forgot to tell. So authentication is nothing. What you do for the first time, if you log in, you just use it as a login, sorry, as a login. Okay, once as a login, it will come here like this. You just type your username password of your cloud. Okay, whatever as you have, you just use that one. The once your authentication is done, it you can see here. Then what you can, in my case, I'll just cancel it because I have already done. Yes, I want to cancel it. Okay, I want to cancel it because I have already authenticated. Second thing what I can check is, if I want to check the list of this thing, I can check as a account. Basically I want to check the uh, what do you call that, the subscription list, right? List I can type, it will show you the list. If you see here, I have two subscription, that's what I'm saying. But if you see here, is default, that means whether it is default false, that means I have two subscription. This particular is not in default. But if I use the second one, that is default, yes, true, that means this is my depth test. That test, if you see the id, what is the id for this one? It is the id subscription id. This is a, if you see in CloudWorks, you can see the C1. I'll just show this also because I forgot this one, so that it will be difficult for them, for others to follow that way. Okay, I'll just show for 2 minutes. Think about this one. 64, 16. All right, team. So I have logged in now. Let me show you the subscription ID, which I have it now. So I mentioned this is a default one. If you see the ID now, with the last subscription ID, is my this one, right? C1, 2C1. So one more is a C2. That is your not a default one. C1 is my default one, right? C1 is a default one. You can check it. You have a C1, that is depth test. This is your C1, right? This is C1. So this is true. That means this is the default now. So all resources will be created under this subscription. Okay. So now, like I mentioned, the resource in place now because I have run the script now. I have run these commands auto approach. So all infrastructure in place now. Let me check in Azure portal now. This should be created in this subscription itself. Let me go into resource group, or you can go anywhere. What is the name we given? The DevOps, right? DevOps RG01. So you see that DevOps RG01, as soon as I click here, same thing, whatever name I have given, it took me here. Okay, it took the same name, DevOps RG01. Same thing if you see here, DevOps RG01. And what is the region? It is a, I mean location, it is a West US. It is a West US, I think so. What is that? West US. Okay, West US. So that's how we can use it. This thing. So okay, so that's how we can use it. Then okay, now we understood how to deploy. Okay, this is a basic infrastructure as a core using. I mean, for resource group. Now I want to destroy this one. Destroy if I do, what I can do, just mention. I can just use the same command. So no problem. Just mention instead of the I can what I can do instead of this thing also I can use apply then destroy also. Okay, instead of this one I can just destroy also. I can have it like that. Destroy. Okay, destroy spelling. Destroy. Okay, destroy. Spelling wrong. Is it? Sorry, spelling's wrong. Sorry, team. So spelling's wrong here. That is why it didn't take me. So okay, destroy. Okay, one thing I wanted to highlight here. When I okay, okay, I forgot to mention two things here. Basically, I need to make you understand two things here. That I again missed it to this thing, but I will tell you here. This particular process I forgot to explain it. Okay, what it does basically, as soon as I clicked here, basically the Terraform apply. What it does is used to apply the changes required to reach to the. This is fine, but also it's by default apply scan the current directory. This is also okay, but also what backend it does is we will understand what actually happen in the backend. Okay, because here we don't have much thing, but what actually happening in the backend we will understand that. Okay, we will understand that. Uh, I need to create one second these resources so that I can show you, make you understand better. Okay, anyway, let it complete. Meanwhile, I'll explain it anyway. Let me go to the same resources. Okay, as you remember before, when I ran the first command, that is git init, I could see that dot terraform, and I could see that this was already there and this also there. That is the dependency log. These two are there, but I don't see this one, right? This one I don't see, right? I don't see this one. And also there is one more file also be getting created. Maybe it is taking time. Okay, it is completed. Let me refresh it. Okay, first I will go and create once again. The reason why I am trying to show is that apply. Okay, I'm going to do it once again. I'm going to create once again the infrastructure. Same resource will be created once again. So see team. Once again I created back. The reason why I created means I forgot for the first time to explain. So I wanted to explain once again. It is very much important. You need to understand, otherwise you may do anything wrong, then it will be a big issue. So it should be very clear the flow. If you understand first thing, this pipe flow, then you can think of doing any kind of things like that. So in what I was trying to say is that if I talk about this particular flow, that is your planning phase, sorry, applying phase, right? It will create the resources in your cloud or in your remote this thing, okay? But then what actually happen in the back end, right? We don't know that. So let me explain it. When I say the Terraform apply, as soon as the infrastructure is being deployed, let's say in my case, it is a, if I see here, apply complete. I mean, that means the infrastructure, that is my Azure resource group, this particular resource group is now created in your Azure, right? Now let me go back there and check as well. So let me refresh because we recreated this resource, so I can still see it the same name. So I go, sorry, I'll go back to the same resource group, then I'll check it once again. Yes, I can see this one, right? So what I am trying to say is that when this resource group is created, till now we are good here. But then if I now what we need to understand the backend, as soon as I click the resource group, not resource group basically, as soon as I click any time whenever I run this command, that is your Azure, what do you call, apply, right? When I run Azure, sorry, not Azure apply, sorry, Terraform apply. Okay, if I run the Terraform apply, as soon as the infrastructure is being deployed in your cloud, any of the cloud, if you get this message, that means apply complete, or maybe your success, this particular task is success. If it is once it is been deployed successfully in your cloud, then in the backend what it does is it will also create one, this one, that is your terraform.tf state. Okay, terraform.tf state, if you remember, for the first time when I checked the Terraform in it, I didn't get this option, I didn't see this one. Okay, you can ignore this also, I'll delete this also. Now for now you don't have to understand this one, you just understand this was there. Okay, now this will be created, these three only was there, this was created newly. If you set time also you can check it. Okay, for 54 just now be created, right? So this is the one. So what are this one, let me go inside and then explain it. Okay, when I say as soon as I run, as soon as I run Terraform apply, basically you, once your infrastructure has been provisioned successfully, you will get, it will create something known as terraform.tf state. That is already shown here, right? Terraform.tf state, terraform.tf state, right? This will be created by default. This name you don't have to change it, this is by default created by ASIC, basically Terraform. Okay, so you can't change the name also, this is as it is, don't change the name also, this is as it is. First thing, why it is required, right? As soon as I like mentioned, once you create the infrastructure successfully, you get this, it will be by default, it will get created in the backend. Then what it contains, basically this is basically your, this will have your information about your current infrastructure, in the sense what you deploy in your cloud now, this information you get here, not your, not your local, not your local. Once you deploy based on your infrastructure code, whatever you have deployed here, that is my resource group. This metadata basically is in a simple case you can solve as a, you can see it's a metadata. Metadata for what? Metadata for your cloud, actual cloud environment which was deployed using Terraform. Okay, this is what I was saying. So what in, how I can check this one, I can check the version which was used, the Terraform version that we have checked it also already. Then this is my you don't have to think much, this is a resource, you have to think here only. Here, okay, resource group, that is what we want. And what is the name we given, that is my demo Azure, this thing, and that is taken as a reference name. If you check also you can see here, this is the reference name, right? Where is that? Here. Okay, reference name you can see here. Then this is a provider. Provider I already mentioned, this is a provider, provider. So basically in simple case, see this is a resource group, right? This is the environment. Basically not environment, this is a tag. Tag also be mentioned. If you see same, if you see same tag, PRD tag you get here also. If you go to the tag in your resource group, see here you get a environment is equal to, sorry, for your tag. Okay, production PRD. Same thing if you see here also, it is taken from this thing. Okay, now we understood. Now that means in simple term, whenever I create the, whenever I run the Terraform apply, and once the Terraform deploy your infrastructure in your cloud, any of the cloud, by default the tf dot terraform dot tf state will be created by default. And the terraform.tf file basically contains your infrastructure of your actual environment, that is your cloud. In your case it is a Azure resource group. It is not a resource group also, any resources, that means you can think of VM or virtual machines, or maybe your SQL, or maybe database, or could be your anything, basically any resources you can just, okay, it could be your you can think for MySQL or MongoDB or whatever it is. Okay, so it will store here basically. Okay, once it is stored, once it is successful, okay, let me close this one, you can check full data. So we have many things we can do here, but for now understand this much. That means you store your metadata of your existing, which was deployed in your cloud. Okay, for now I have it here. So what I can do is, now I will destroy this one. But before destroy, let me tell one more thing is that when I run this command, where is that? When I run this destroy, Destroy, basically what it does is, basically when I destroy, before that let me explain. During the I'm talking about it during the destroy. Okay, when I run the Terraform destroy, during that time, what happens in the backend? Okay, that time actually, this particular, let me once again show you. Whatever you see here, this will be basically will be taken as a backup. Basically, what in simple term, this will take a backup in a cloud. Whatever you have in your state file, this is a state file, right? This is known as state file. It has your metadata of your infrastructure, or maybe in your cloud, whatever you have it, resources. Okay, this metadata, this all will be taken as a backup. First thing, let me show you. Now let me show you how it basically this thing. So now we are good. Now we understood. Now right now we have all the state file, that metadata I have for my resource group. Okay, now if I try to use a Terraform destroy, then you see what happened in the backend. Let me show you. Terraform, what is the command? Destroy. Then I can mention auto approve also, because I don't want to do it again and again. Auto approve. Okay, now as soon as I click here, destroy being destroy. Okay, let me refresh this one. Okay, we will understand first this also. Okay, as soon as I click destroy, let's still destroy. You will see now when I destroy, if you see all, it will be red color. It's a minus. No, it is a now minus. That means it is a destroy. This shows here. This will be destroyed. So you can see what is going to be destroyed. Entire your infrastructure, that is your resource group, will be destroyed. But before that, still destroying. Okay, it's in destroying phase. But before destroying, what it does, while destroying, what happens? Let me show you. It is still taking time. I think. Let it get destroyed. Okay, I will explain. Normally, destroy time, it takes time as compared to the deploying. Okay, good. Now the destroy is a destroy complete. That means resource one destroy. That means that is my resource group. My resource group has been destroyed now. Okay, I'm good here now. But do we actually know what is going on in the backend? What did happen now? We don't know. Let me check. Well, let me explain now. What exactly happened in the backend? Okay. Now, if you notice here, this one, the Terraform dot, sorry, dot Terraform folder and the dot Terraform dot log dot HCL. These two was already created at the time of Terraform init, right? That is initialization process. And this is your the resource that you define Terraform configuration. So you don't have to think much about this one. So this is the first phase, these two. But if you notice, this was happened created, terraform.tf state was created at the time of deploying your infrastructure. That is your Terraform apply. Okay, that means when you provision your infrastructure, that time Terraform state will be created, which has your metadata of your existing resources in your cloud. All right. Now, if you notice one more thing here, now this was not there before. Okay, this was not there before. What is that? Terraform dot tf state dot backup. Same thing, but it has the extension of dot backup. So what it trying to say is that, let me see you first. First, let me explain. So if I say about first this one, the Terraform dot tf state, before destroying your actual cloud this resources, let me refresh this also once. Okay. No, it is not there because I have destroyed it. So if you go here also, I don't see that the was full. I don't see anything here. So what it does basically, whenever I put destroy, Terraform is so much smart. I like that fact that they have this kind of capability to handle. So basically what it does is if I use this one .tf state, just let me go first what it does. Okay. If you see here, now see what is the folder name as? There is a terraform.tf state is here. Terraform.tf state has nothing now. It is a blank. If you see the resource, nothing. I don't see any kind of metadata. It is a blank this thing, right? You don't have any information. What information you have? You have nothing, no information, because the resource got deleted or destroyed. But behind the scenes, there is a one more folder called as terraform.tf-state.backup extension. Okay, dot backup extension. It basically during the destroying, before destroying your actual the server or maybe your resources, this what it will do is Terraform will take a backup from your state file of your state file. First, they'll take the backup file. Sorry, they'll take a backup of your state file. That is your, which was there. No, now nothing is there because they took a backup before destroying, because you're going to destroy. They got to know that, so it took a backup of that one. So now if you check your whatever you see here, same thing you get to here. But in your actual infrastructure, that is in Azure, we don't see here because that is no more. That is why what they did was before destroying that server itself or resources, they took the backup from your state file and kept here. Let me check inside. Okay, see here. What you could see here before, I am seeing the same thing. See here, manage, then the resource group name, and then I can see the locations. I can show same DevOps RG for whatever is there. You can check them in your configuration also if you want. You can verify whatever you have theme have taken. The problem is now it is not no more in your cloud. Okay, but it is there. It is no more in cloud because you have destroyed it. But before destroying the infrastructure itself, Terraform took the backup from your state file and kept here as a backup, so that if you have any issue in future, maybe this thing that you want to revert back, in this case they'll help you. Okay, this is the one of the key things where we need to understand. Okay, so okay, I think teams, I think you're good now. We can, you understood the process now, right? These five things, but try to do hands-on and understands. I encourage to every one of you, please see how it we can use that one. Okay, then next 20 minutes we have it. Let's see how much we can cover. So the flow, people are good. Okay, so we understood the basic part, but this is another concept is are about the Terraform language. That's the basics, right? Theoretical part, it is very important. We need to understand why it is so important, right? If you see here, like I mentioned, whenever I share about Terraform, there is a some syntax we have, like basics, like let's say files we have. Code in the Terraform language is stored in plain text file with a .tf extension, file extension. That means you see any of this you see here, everything will be .tf extension. That means if anything you see, if you have to create new time, if you have to create here also new file, let's say in my case here, I have to put file name, whatever file name you have, dot tf. If you want tf, it will convert. If you see here, nothing is there. If you just convert this one .tf, it will convert automatically. See here. Okay, if you just mention here .tf state. Okay, the tf extension, basically file extension, we have to use as a .tf extension. That means Terraform file extension. Okay, and we can also have a Terraform JSON base also. This is, there is also a JSON base variance of the language that is named as a .tf .json file also can be used, but it is not recommended, and Terraform they don't encourage to use that. Okay, if you're good with that, we can use, but we don't nobody, I mean company, they don't use this one extension. Okay, we can call them we can call the file containing Terraform code as Terraform configuration file or Terraform manifest. So these all whatever you see here team, okay, we can call as a Terraform configuration or Terraform manifest. Let's say you like let me show you here. Let's say if I talk about this one here, this is your configuration, right? This is one of the configuration for Terraform. Under this one is configuration will have your own Terraform manifest folder or manifest directory, whatever you can call it as. Okay. So you have a Terraform manifest folder. Under this, you will store your all your code. Okay. All your Terraform configuration code will be stored under your manifest folder. So that's why I say we can call the file containing Terraform code as Terraform manifest configuration file or Terraform manifest. Both are same. If I say Terraform configuration file, also same as Terraform manifest. So as you can see here, all are in the having .tf extension. And also it is Terraform working directory. This is a working directory. If you see here, manifest here, working directory. Under this one, we have a code. Under manifest, we have all our code. This is known as a working directory for your Terraform. That is why when I ran up for the first time, I didn't go inside of working directory. I went outside of Terraform, this thing. I got an empty output, right? So this is why it is important. And then also if you see here, Terraform configuration file ending with .tm action that I already explained. Okay. So let's understand the then Terraform language basis with configuration syntax. Okay. Configuration syntax is why it is important, right? Let's be honest. Terraform language is there, and we have a Terraform. This is a basic of right this language and Terraform in Arc is, and we need to understand this is some of the high level of your configuration syntax that you have to know this one. What is block? What is argument? What is identifier? And what is comments? Right? This all you need to understand because this all will be used every day in every single resource whenever you want to create. Okay, let's understand what it means. If you see here, this is one of the template. In Arcade, we try to use the resource group. Same thing, this one. Where is that? Let me close this one. I don't want this one. Okay. If you see here, resource group I want to create. Now, what is resource? What is this? What is that? All this we will understand here. Okay. First thing, if you see here, template. Under template, we have a. Okay. We will see first things here. When I talk about the Azure, sorry, creating resource group, resource, right? First thing is your block. First thing always comes in a block, the block level. Okay, this is your block type. Okay, resource always is nothing but is a block type. And when I say this one, that is your Azure RM, then resource group. Okay, this is your block level. And block level can have sometime it will be have single block level. In some case, it will be double two block levels. In my case, it's a two block level here also. Okay. Then we have a name that we already is a body identifier and body. This is an identifier. Like identifier in the sense this side. This is your name is your identifier. This is value, right? Key. Basically, key is nothing but identifier. This is a value. It's nothing but expressions, or we can call it as the argument also in some cases, right? So expression and argument both are same. So however you want to call it, it is depends on your wish. Okay, how you want to call it. So this is your identifier. It's nothing but is your key, and the expression is nothing but is a value that is your key value per basically. If I say simple terms, you can use the key is your identifier, value it that is your expression or argument. Same thing it is for this one. Second. Okay, so same thing. If I can see here also, it all same. Okay, this is a if you see here what I say, it is a body type, right? It's a block type. This is a block type. This is a block level. We will understand there also little bit of this thing later. For now, just understand this much. I think I should. Okay, I have. Okay, block type. Okay, I can it is there already given. Okay, so the first thing if I see here, this is a block. Like I mentioned, this is a block type, right? The first one is your resource. Always, whenever I have to always without block type, I can't create any resource first thing team. Okay, block type is always required for you because without block type you will not have anything to create. You have to use a block type always. So block type is important, and this is also important. That is the block levels which I explained already. Block level in my case, this entire known as a block level also. Like I mentioned, they can multiple block, two block known as a block type. This is all considered as a block levels. This one, that is your Azure RM resource group, this thing. And we have this one, right? This is, and also if you see here, this one, this is actually for, if you see the first one, okay, this is resource all entire this one. Basically, if I say, this is known as a top level and a block inside block. Top level means this is above. Top level basically is nothing but resource, type of resources. In my case, it is a resource group, is a type of resources, right? This is your top level. When I say block inside block means inside this block itself, I have other properties. Let's say I want to have your name is equal to some name and then location, like that. This is inside block inside block. Okay, block inside blocks. Because block means this is the entire, this is a main block. That is your this thing, right? This is a block. Inside that means you have multiple block. That means inside block. This is like a properties of your resources. If you want to create a bnet, or maybe in a simple case resource group, you need the information. Let's say your name of the resource group or the locations or anything, right? So in this case, so it is required for you to give this block inside block. That is your name is equal to this name, and then this is your is equal to location is equal to this is US. Okay, and this is our argument. Okay, this is identifier. Okay, you mentioned here argument. And if you see here, the top level resource, basically when I say top level, when I say top level blocks, basically when I say resource and providers, top level means resource. This is your resource, right? This is your resource. This is your top level, and a provider also. Provider we will explain later. For now, we are good. And inside like a block, inside block in the sense provisioners, resource specific block like tags. Let's say properties, basically if I want to create some resources, in that under resources, what kind of information that you want to add it. Let's say your tag you want to add, you want to create some Ds, or you want to create any kind of this, that is your block inside block. And then also based on the block type, block labels will be one or two. Based on this block type, based on the block type, you can have a based on the block type, okay, level will have one or two level, block label, like I mentioned, in our case it is a here one, here one, here two, I have it. Okay, so you can have one or two, depends on the block level, sorry, a block type. Block type means this is your block type. You can take the screenshot or it is there in documents also, just understand. Okay, and then we have example resource, two labels, variables, one label. Variable that we will understand, that we can ignore for now. Okay, so we'll see that next. Okay, now we have another example is our same thing. This is the argument, name or identified. Okay, now same thing, the argument, value or expression. So this is another one. So if you see here, we understood this part. Now we can see this is known as your identifier. Like I mentioned, you can have argument name or identifier. Okay, and it is always required. Without argument, you can't have anything. But expression sometimes depends on that thing, you can use it. Okay, this is your expression. Okay, this is my express is a value, basically this is key, this is value. Okay, so we will see this one when we work. And also this is also require if you want to work with this or BR code, if you want to maybe clear. Okay, so um, huh. If I want to basically comment something, I can have in two different ways. One is using your double, I mean using double slash. Okay, you can have a comment. So if you want to write something based on the descriptive or anything description, I mean, you can use a double slash. But this is not recommended. Terraform, they don't encourage to use this one. They encourage to use this only. Okay, that is your hashtag or hash. Okay, we use that. Let's say if I want to create a resource group, I use a hash. Okay, that create a resource group. In our case, if you see here also, we use the same thing, hash also. This here, right? You can see the hash. We used it. That's how they encourage. They asking us to use it. Terraform. They encourage. Okay. All right, team. So we are good now. So if you want to have multiple, if you want to have multiple, what do you call that? comments, you can't use this one, you can use this one slash, then there's a asterisk, same thing asterisk, then slash. This is all multiple comments you can have. If you have 100 lines that you don't want to include that one in your code, you can just put this one instead of putting hash everywhere. Okay, instead of using this hash everywhere 100 times, you can just use this one starting and end here. Okay, just this is important. For now we don't have to. What is the next? Okay, I think till here we will see. Yeah, we will not be able to complete this one because huge topic Terraform. But I want people to understand the fundamental first very strong so that they can do anything when they work with this thing, right? The when I say here Terraform top level, when I say Terraform top level blocks, okay, there are actually you can think of like a what do you call that? Um, you can have a different group. Let's say in my case the first group called known as the fundamental blocks, and second is your variable blocks, third is your calling or referencing number, sorry, blocks. So if you see here, most of the Terraform features are implemented as a top level blocks. If it's top level block, like I mentioned, resources or providers, everything, they are known as a top level block. So as you can see here, the Terraform language uses limited, okay, number of top level. They don't have much top level types, which are block that appear outside of other block in Terraform configuration file. So when I say here, I'll just give a small brief. When I say this one, Terraform block, basically when I say in this particular fundamental blocks, we have our Terraform block, then provider blocks and resource blocks, and in variables we have input variables blocks, why we have to use, then output variables, sorry, values block, then local value blocks, and we have it in our calling or referencing blocks, we have data source blocks or module blocks. We will understand this one, right? Provider blocks, Terraform block, basically if you see here, let's show you. This, this is same as a Terraform block. Terraform block is required always. Because Terraform blocks basically it provides your, if you see here provider the version, right? It has your Terraform. This is known as a, we can call it as Terraform block or the Terraform setting blocks. Both are same. Okay. If I say about Terraform block, you can see, consider as a Terraform setting blocks. They are same. So what exactly it contains? It has your Terraform information. Then what is the version of your Terraform, and what is the provider whether provider require. In my case, it's a provider as your Azure RM, that is your Azure Resource Manager, and what is the source? Source again, this is your the source from where it is, and what is the version of this one? Okay, so how we get this one also I can show you. Just what we can do is that just we will try to explore what is the Terraform provider, right? Terraform, what is the common? Sorry, what is it? Okay, Terraform block. Sorry, this one is mentioned some name. Provider. Okay. This provider we will learn in the next sessions theme. There are many things to cover, but for now I don't have to think much. We can have the provider. Oh, I think I don't think. Okay, anyway, it is taking me some. I need to log in other ID. Okay, no problem. What we will do anyway, next week we'll start. We will explain that later. So, in simple term, like I mentioned, I showed you already. So next week anyway, I'll show you that. So this one you can try, or this is your source. Source nothing but your provider basically from where it has your HashiCorp, and the HashiCorp we have a particular provider. Okay, that is your source provider, and the version you can check what version we are using or which version to be use. Okay, then this is basically configure the Microsoft Azure provider. Provider means you now into specify that one. Provider Azure, as you know, this is Azure RM, as you can see here, this thing. This Azure RM can be changed many times, but they don't encourage or they don't recommend to you. I mean, use your personal things. You can keep it as default actually, but it can be modifiable. Okay, then okay, now we are good here. Then provider means we understand now what is provider also we understood here. Then we will go with the resource block. Resource block means this is all known as a resource block, entire this thing. What we create the resources, what we define basically, if one let's say in my case a resource group, right? This is your resource block, okay, entire resource block. And we have an input variable basically. You want to put some input variable. Input variable basically instead of having this value here, you can keep as a key value pair and you can refer that one. Okay, you can use it in your Terraform. And output means once the Terraform is being built, you want to get some output. Let's say I want to, if I created some resources using resource group now, after this kind of output I want, let's say I want to get a resource group ID or maybe resource groups subscription detail, whatever, or I want to get a subscription ID output like this. Okay, this in this case you can use the output. Local value basically is nothing but uh, using the local value you can refer. It's just like a variable things where you can refer in your variable and you can use it. Okay, it's just like a what do you call that? You can it's just like a box where you keep your things and you can call that with a key and with the key. Okay, the value will be fetched like that. It can store anywhere in your Terraform configuration as long as you are using same uh, what do you call that one, root module, sorry, root directory. Okay, then we have a data source. Data source is nothing but it is again your if you have your, let's say in my case, let's say okay, in my case I have a resource group created as this one. Same resource group I want to use it in my cloud, sorry, not cloud, in my Terraform, but this is already created already by somebody, or maybe this is managed by manually for some reason, let's say. So in this case what you can do, same resource group, if I want to use in your Terraform, or maybe you want to use this subscription, that is your this particular subscription, one of the subscription that is existing exit in your provider basically, I mean in your cloud somewhere it is located. Let's say if I want to use this also, that is not in Terraform, but I want to use this one, not just anything, any resource that you want to basically use it from out of your Terraform as a reference, you want to call using API, then you can use the data source. Module is very similar. This is very helpful. Let's say now if you have a code now in your, let's say this is your code now, you have written some resource group you use now. Same resource group I want, if I use some other module, let's say some configuration, same resource group, if I want to use this same resource group, I can use the module will help us here. Okay, the module will help us. This is why calling and referencing the blocks. Okay, that is why it is important. Team, I think we are good for today's because we have covered almost 2 hours, and next week we will start about the Terraform fundamentals block. In this we will learn about Terraform providers, resources. So we will be doing many hands-on there. I hope today you understood the flow basically about Terraform, whatever we explained. I hope you guys are clear. Okay, so the next week what we will do is we will be learning about this particular topic. This is very important, just keeping you notice, I mean inform what now we will learn. The many things are there. Okay, there are many things are there, like a block size configures some behaviors, like you need to do what kind of behavior, Terraform behavior it has, and also we need to know the version of that one and provide the requirement and the versions, and also Terraform state file we have already explained, but then I will explain a little more in details. And provider block, also known as your heart of your Terraform. Without provider block, you can use it anything. You can deploy any infrastructure. Same thing, how to interact with that one, remote systems. Then we will also learn about resource blocks, and there are many syntax. Just have a look once. Resource behavior, how Terraform handles the resource declarations, and also provisions, how we configure the remote, sorry, resource pre creation actions. So there are many things to be covered, team. So if I say in simple this thing, no, there are many things are there. But as we learn, no, if you are strong enough with your foundations, yes, you can. I think it is not okay. Okay, here we are, right? Yeah, then we will understand. Then we will, what we will do next week, we will definitely be working completely hands-on. So, because today we are much clear with the topic on what kind of blocks, Terraform blocks are there, and we will definitely having some this kind of diagram where I explain with the diagram so that I can show you also in actual scenario. Okay, so then providers also very important. Then I will also show this diagram in actual flow, okay, how it works basically, so that you will get to know exactly how it is been used in your pipeline as well, right? Then we have it here. There are many things, team. So I am very like thing like we need to understand many things. This I think we don't have to explore much, but yeah, just have a look once these notes. This is very useful, team. Just take a look once whenever you get a time. Okay. So thank you, team, for today's sessions. Thanks for joining the team. We appreciate your time. Maybe we will see you next tomorrow, next week.